How can we improve our empathy skills? Now in this video, we're going to look at the what, the why, and the how of empathy. How can we really build our muscles in this skill? Empathy is one of the building blocks of emotional intelligence, and it's our ability to recognize and understand the emotions of others. Let's dig into that a little bit deeper, because recognition and understanding represent two different streams, two different skill sets of empathy. Recognition represents emotional empathy, and this is connecting to the emotions of others, to our families, to our friends, to our teammates, to our colleagues. Sensing the different moods that they're in, reading a room, picking up their different emotions. And here it's where we can recognize and identify the emotions of others. Shock, or wonder, sorrow, triumph. Now understanding represents cognitive empathy, and this is the skill of understanding the thought process, the thinking of someone else. It's standing in their shoes, looking out of their eyes. This is the skill of understanding why they might have felt a certain emotion, or how they came to that decision, how they came to that process to lead up to the different emotions, understanding the thought processes. So those are the two branches of empathy: recognition, which is emotional empathy, and understanding, which is cognitive empathy. And both of them together help us to connect to others. On to the why. Why am I learning about empathy? Why am I trying to build my skills in this area? Let's start with an analogy. Imagine you and a friend are speaking on a WhatsApp or a Zoom call, and you're connected over internet. Now, if you both have strong internet, then that connection is great. The communication is clear, you're able to upload and download all the different information that you want, you're able to share your photos and videos, you're in sync, you're on the same page. Now imagine that one of you has strong Wi-Fi and the other one doesn't. Now the communication is still possible, but it's a little bit more halting, a little bit more jarring. There's some more frustration and patience needed as one person gets a little bit more than others, a little bit more out of sync, but still doable. Now imagine neither of you have strong internet connection. Then that conversation, that call is not really even worth it. You're not hearing each other, you're not seeing each other. Better to come back when you do have strong internet connection. And I see empathy like strong Wi-Fi. That invisible thread, the bridges that connect us, that allow us to upload and download the different information that we want to share, to work together, to communicate clearly, to see and hear each other. And for me, that's my why. In my life, at home, at work, different sports teams, I want to be in healthy relationships. And I find that empathy is the fuel to that connection. So how can we start improving our empathy skills? I figured I'd share some of the tools that I designed for myself and that I found along the way as I was trying to build the muscles of my empathy. The first strategy I want to share with you is an emotions of others exercise. So I do this at the end of a day or at the end of a week, and I would reflect back over that time period and try and identify the strongest emotions that I had observed in others, in teammates or colleagues or friends or family. Then I would do my best to lean a bit into the perspective taking, into the cognitive empathy, and try and understand a little bit about why they might have felt that emotion. Now I'm sure you've gathered a caveat to this exercise, and I want to put it into your head. And that is that those observations of those emotions and understanding of that thought process, that was my best idea, my best guess as to what they were feeling. And so what I did with the people that I was confident with and comfortable, I'd then have that conversation. And I'd say, in that meeting, it looked like you were frustrated. Tell me about it. Were you frustrated? And if it was, is there anything I can do about it? So that's the first exercise, emotions of others. And it can really help us identify and observe different emotions throughout our week. And the next tool I want to share is an emotion identification exercise. So here, it's an exercise that I developed for myself to try and identify the emotions of others through their body language, through their facial expressions, the visual cues. And I did this through different movie scenes, different clips, and I would try and identify the emotions that I thought they were feeling. So I have a lot of these exercises on my YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and check those out as well. Now we had a quick example of this earlier on in the video, but if you've skipped right to the how-to section, I'll throw up a quick exercise for you to do right now. See if you can identify the emotion in this scene.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
It's wonderful to see you, Gandalf.
Fantastic. So let me know what emotion you think it was down in the comments, and we can see if we're all on the same page. So the next one I want to share with you is stories, both reading and writing stories, because that can help us to understand the characters, understand others, their thought processes, the lead up to different emotions. So I'm going to share a clip from Brandon Sanderson. He's a fantasy author.
So I view writing and reading as an innately empathetic process. One of the things that drove me to writing was how I felt like in reading stories, I came to understand people different from myself better than I had before. And I find writing is means to explore the world. I think books are empathy machines, and that's the way I approach them.
Books are empathy machines. They allow us to understand the characters, their thought processes, and why they felt certain emotions, which we can then translate back into our world and into our life as well. The last tool that I want to offer you is shadowing. And if you haven't heard this term before, it means observing and taking on the role of someone else, be that in our organization, on our teams, in our life. So for example, for me, I'm on the delivery team, it's observing, it's taking on the role of someone in sales for a morning, for a day, for a specific event. Or if you're playing football or soccer, you're the striker, then it's taking on the role of the defender in practice or in different situations, trying to figure out what is their perspective. So if you want to start building your empathy skills, then encouraging you to find someone to shadow, to swap roles with, or to spend a morning with, so that you can understand their perspective. So those are the 4 different strategies: emotions of others, emotion identification, storytelling, and shadowing. And links for all those, for the different videos for emotion identification and different information, are down in the description, so you can head down there if you want to continue building your empathy skills. But also, if you have any tools and exercises that you use to build your empathy, please do send them my way. I want to continue learning. I want to also continue offering good tools to my coaching clients. So please do send them over or drop them in the comments. Really appreciate that. And happy improving.